Alright, is this thing on? I guess it's on now. Good morning, everyone. This is Dale Keter, and I'm about to begin my Let's Play of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This game is very old, and I'm not even sure how well it works on stream. Let's first start by alt-tabbing. Okay, so alt-tabbing pretty much mutes my desktop audio. It has no option to play the sound when I'm minimized. We see if the chat is popping up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess it is popping up. So anyway, let's go back to the game. I have installed this game with Wesp's Unofficial Patch 10.7 Release Candidate 2. The game is very old and it was very, very buggy upon release. Like I couldn't even finish the game in its retail version. I had to wait for a patch from Troika, and I believe they only released 2 patches before they went under. And the patching of this game has been relegated to fan-made mods like the Unofficial Patch. I installed the Plus version of the patch, which restores some of the cut content from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And I spent last night configuring my controls. Like I use ESDF instead of WASD. And I also changed my mouse sensitivity, volume by enabling subtitles. I also applied the widescreen patch, which allowed me to play at 1920 by 1080 for easy alt tabbing, because this game doesn't have a borderless window mode. As for these, it's an old game. I can max out everything. Now, the only 2 things in the gameplay option are show damage floaters, which is really good, and auto renew disciplines, which is really, really bad because you'll end up running out of blood and frenzying really quickly if you use that. Anyway, for today's stream, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm just gonna create my character and play through the tutorial. The world of darkness is a place where immortal monsters pull the strings of humanity. Violence and despair are common. The world is bleak with escapists that ever... right. I have a solid state drive, which means my loading screens are too fast to read. I could go with number 1, but it's pretty silly, but I'm just gonna go straight to... Well, you know what, let's do number 1. It's probably gonna get my clan wrong, but whatever. Would you like your character to be male or female? Male. As you're walking home late at night, you hear footsteps, glance back, and suddenly realize someone is following you. Do you... turn to confront them. A bouncer at the opening of an exclusive nightclub won't let you inside to party with all the beautiful people. Do you... convince him you work for the director? You know, don't lie. To hide out to the back exit, sneak in? No. No! We're gonna bribe him. We're gonna be honest. Bribe him. Everyone's got their price, and it's worth it to get to know the kind of people inside. You're in an all-night pawn shop, feeling the need for some protection. Very low on cash. You can only afford to purchase one item. Is it a book entitled Kickboxing in 10 Easy Lessons, a well-worn baseball bat, or a cheap Saturday night special? If we're being completely in character, I would pick number 3. You're in a convenience store looking through the beer freezer. First of all, I don't drink alcohol. It's completely out of character for me, so I don't have to keep my response in character for this question. But all of a sudden, a man walks in and pulls a gun on the cashier. Do you sneak up behind him, disarm him, and proceed to beat him senseless? Or quietly make your way to the bathroom and lock yourself in? Fuck it, we're not role-playing myself anyway, so we're gonna sneak up behind him. You're heading downtown to meet with some Nosferatu in the alley behind that Chinese restaurant. Is this a reference to chapter 4 or something? He has some valuable information to sell. You're not expecting any trouble, but you can never be too careful. Do you... I will take no weapons that might spook my content, trusting in my supernatural strength to handle any problems. If you got in a fight against an armed opponent, would you rather take them on barehanded, it's more satisfying, or shoot first, ponder the consequences later? 2. The world's a cruel and forgiving place, but you've gotten by so far. Why? Someone gets in my way, I kick their ass, that's why. I live alone, I don't need others. No, that's not something I would say. You have been embraced by the Bruja clan, called by some a clan of violent brutes and mindless street thugs. The Bruja have been known to tangle, but are a proud clan who fight for freedom in life and death and put their combat abilities to use whenever they're necessary. Okay. Your vampire's attributes and abilities have now been determined and entered into its character sheet, which you will see next. After your tour of the character sheet, you may make changes to the character or simply play it as is. These are your attributes and abilities, which feats are derived from. Attributes are your inherent character traits and are broken into 3 categories: physical, social, and mental. Abilities are things you learn and also are broken into 3 categories: talents, skills, and knowledges. Members of the militaristic Bruja clan are indomitable warriors, and so your strongest attribute is physical, in which you have 2 points you can spend. You also have 1 point to spend in mental and no points in social, a Bruja's weakest attribute. As for abilities, being Bruja gives you an advantage with their aggressive and violent talents, in which you have 3 points to spend. You have only average abilities and skills, 2 points, and are weak in knowledges. Okay? Feats are the actions you perform in the game. Feats are derived from adding an attribute and an ability. An example would be the feat of lockpicking, which is derived from the attribute of dexterity and the ability of security. Hovering your mouse pointer over a feat will highlight the attribute and ability upon which it is dependent. Click. You are a member of the Bruja clan, renowned for its sheer physical prowess. Bruja are rebels who hold social change near to their undead hearts, and the clan's ranks contain some of the most violent members of vampire society. Their disciplines are celerity, vampiric speed, potence, vampiric strength, and presence, vampiric charisma. Okay? This is your humanity. 7 is the norm. 10 is saintly, and the lower you go, the closer to the beast you become. Also, the lower your humanity, the greater your chances of frenzying. When a vampire goes into a frenzy, he loses all control and attacks any and all things around him. However, as you gain experience, you can spend experience points to increase your humanity. Okay. This is where your Masquerade violations are displayed. The Masquerade is a code by which many vampires unlive. Anytime a vampire is seen doing a supernatural act by a mortal, it is considered a Masquerade violation. You have 5 chances and each strike will have repercussions. If you commit 5 Masquerade violations, you will be dealt with harshly. This is where all information on things you are hovering over is displayed. Okay. The auto level on or off button is a toggle that allows you to decide whether you want the computer to allocate the experience points you earn in the game among your attributes, abilities, and disciplines, or whether you wish to allocate them yourself. The reset stats button is another toggle that allows you to clear out your point allocation so that you can start over or return them to their last settings. The cancel button allows you to return to your last point in the game without changing your character sheet. Once you are satisfied with your character settings, click on the accept button to play the game. Click. Okay, so this allocation is very, very, very suboptimal. First of all, the World of Darkness, improving your skills in the World of Darkness gets more expensive the higher the stat is. So basically, you are rewarded for dumping all your stats in 1 skill at a time, during character creation at least. Probably gonna. Also, there are skill books that train your various skills. Now, I do know there are no skill books for intimidation and subterfuge. I don't plan on using intimidation, so I'm gonna max out subterfuge so we can feed on mortals easily. For this one, I think intelligence is the best. It allows me to read books. Scholarship is for persuasion. Social, I don't have charisma. I guess I have to improve that. Actually, I'm gonna change my clan. I like the Bruja in I guess in Pencil and Paper Vampire the Masquerade. But the limited options I have here kind of limit what I can do. I actually prefer the Ventrue, who are basically the mind control people. Now, one of the things the Plus patch added are these extra backgrounds. These weren't in the base game, and in previous versions, they would actually crash the game if you chose the wrong one. Like the obvious one is none, no special ability. This is a new one I haven't seen before. homosexual, you always found your own gender much more attractive than the other sex, although many people still have issues dealing with this. Maybe vampiric society is different. I think what this does is it switches your gender setting or sex setting inside the game so that you can flirt with same-sex characters. But I've never done this before, so and also I tend to roleplay myself. I am the straightest man in Missouri. So I'm probably gonna go with this one. This is the one I was looking at yesterday. You have a big ego because of your confidence in yourself and your abilities. People either really hate you or are drawn to you. That is pretty much me in real life. I'm not so much a megalomaniac. I'm just, proud of myself. But I've noticed that most people really like me, and there's a handful of people who really, really, really hate my guts. And there's nothing I can do about that. So I started with an extra point of charisma, but can never raise subterfuge above 4. That's fine. I don't need subterfuge above 4. I don't even raise it above... Yeah, I don't ever raise it above 4 anyway. So that's not a big deal. So next. Yay, 3-point charisma. So I suppose I can just, go overboard and just max it out. Start with charisma 4. I can pretty much pass almost every persuasion check in the game. And I don't think I ever have to raise this again. There's like a magic item that gives me +1 charisma that you get from Isaac Abrams in Hollywood. So basically, yeah, that's it. That's done. Physical, I have none. Mental, yeah, let's put it in intelligence. So, and then for knowledges, I'm going to max out scholarship. That's for maximum persuasion and research. Research is what allows you to identify magic items and also read skill books, which is really, really useful. For abilities, I'm going to probably put it in security because this is very useful. I can blood buff for security. Melee might be something useful because I plan on playing the tutorial. Alright, so since I'm playing the tutorial, I'm going to probably go for Brawl so I can get through the combat sections much better. I guess... Yeah, fuck it. Let's go melee. For my disciplines, I'm going to go with... Well, I want to go for dominate. Yeah, let's go for dominate. I think the highest I need dominate to be for dialogue is 3, but I'm maxing it out anyway. So anyway, should I skip the tutorial, the intro? No. Except the embrace, the act of transforming a mortal into a vampire. So spoiler alert, a 7th generation vampire decides to randomly embrace a mortal into the fold. That's me. If you're not familiar with PNP vampire rules, basically I'm the further removed you are from Cain, the weaker you are as a vampire. So 1st generation is Cain, 2nd generation is 1 removed from Cain, 3rd is 2 removed from Cain. And my sire was 6 vampires removed from Cain, and I'm 7, so I'm weaker than my sire. So I noticed they added the animating second hand there. That wasn't there. Also, the vampire bite is there. And it's healing! Look at the improved animation 16 years later. Oh, right. Embracing a vampire without the permission of the local prince is against the law.
Good evening. My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence, have been broken.
No,
as prince, I am within my rights to grant.
So basically, this scene serves to introduce all the NPCs in the game.
Many of you have come to me seeking permission, and I have endorsed some of these requests.
There's Therese Foreman.
The accused that sits before you tonight
the prince is speaking. Smiling Jack's in the background. The sheriff is the guy with the big sword.
At all.
The
They were
Nosferatu
caught
there, that's
shortly after
the
embrace of
Nosferatu
this
player
child.
character.
It pains me to announce the sentence, as up to tonight I considered the accused a loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know,
The sire doesn't even have a
the
name.
penalty for this transgression is death. Know that I am no more adjudicator than I am a servant to the law that governs us all. Let tonight's proceedings serve as a reminder to our community that we must adhere to the code that binds our society, lest we endanger all of our blood. Forgive me. Let the penalty commence.
Chop chop.
Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most childer are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility, and most importantly, the laws they must obey. Therefore, I have decided that...
This is bullshit! All I'm saying is that he better not do it.
If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish, I have decided to let this kindred live. They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind and be granted the same rights. Let no one say I am unsympathetic to the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening.
Thanks, Nines. I didn't die to death because of you. So yeah, basically the penalty for an unauthorized, vampire creation is death for both the sire and the child. The reason for that is because not everyone adapts to the vampiric lifestyle
Your sire,
successfully.
Tragic. My apologies. But you see, there is a strict code of conduct that all of us must adhere to if we wish to survive. When anyone breaks these laws, they undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament. Allowing you to live makes me directly responsible for your subsequent behavior. So, what I'm offering is not
The animations
generosity,
in this game
but
are a
the
bit
opportunity
wonky. But
to
then again,
transcend
it's
the
a
fate woven
16-year-old
by your
game.
sire. This is your trial. You will be brought to Santa Monica. There you will meet an agent by the name of Mercurio. He will provide the details of your labor. I've shown you great clemency. Prove it was more than a wasted gesture, fledgling. Don't come back until you do. Good evening.
Not only do vampires hide from mortals, they hide from themselves as well, pretending they are not the horrors they have truly become. Okay, so use the mouse to look around. Use the it's ESDF because I changed it. Toggle view. Okay. Right, left click to continue. Okay, I prefer first person. I'm gonna change to first person.
Scene, man. Woo-wee. Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo.
Hi there,
It's probably a
Siva
lot for you
Machina.
to take in, so,
Yes,
why don't you let me show you the
it
ropes?
is
Please,
using
sir.
a beta version of the Source Engine. I think it was released one day after Half-Life 2. Because Gaben wouldn't let them release it the same day. I don't remember my history well. But yeah, a lot of this shit was like, jury rigged together. Anyway, back to the game. Who are you?
I'm Jack. What's important is...
Also, I'm curious,
help.
like, is the volume
You make it
okay?
back from Santa Monica
Is my
with your
voice
eyes, we'll trade
too
life
soft, too
stories,
loud?
okay? Till then,
Is the
I got
game's
about
volume too
this
soft or
much
too
time.
loud? Because this is like the
Later on.
first time I've done this. And I expect the game to crash every now and then. Alright, so he's offering to teach us how to become a vampire. Alright, okay, I could use the help, my dude.
All right. Why don't we, step out back here?
Yeah, let's get away from that horrible place.
Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, Could save your hide. You look wobbly. You even had a drink yet?
No.
Oh, man, we're popping a cherry here. Ah, you're gonna love this. All right, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne. Blood, your new fucking heroin, kid. Get ready, though, because, hey, it's never as sweet as the first time.
I mean, that's Activision for you. Troika made a lot of good games. Like, they made Temple of Elemental Evil, they made Arcanum. They made this, and then they died. Because, they got, ducked over by the publisher. Alright, what do I do?
Well, down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car.
So, what I do? I mean,
Alright. You go down there, casual like. You creep up on him, you bare those little fangs and feed. Don't worry if you weren't captain of the wrestling team or something, because it'll come so naturally you think you've done it 1,000 times already.
Won't he become a vampire then? I'm role-playing.
Forget that comic book crap, kid. It don't work that way. Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain him dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill him.
Alright. This is your blood pool. Blood is the fuel for your vampiric powers or disciplines. When your blood pool is low, you need to refill it. Humans are an abundant source of blood, and the only source of blood for a Ventrue like me in most areas of the game. One is in the alley around the corner. Okay, before we do anything, I'm gonna set up my hotkeys. So, fists, I guess that's one. Range weapons, I have none. I guess... Dominate. Dominate. I guess I'm gonna go with Fortitude and Presence. And I'm just gonna clear this. Since I'm playing single player, I can just activate these potions, blood packs inside my inventory, and I don't have to worry about it. I do need to do blood buff and blood heal just in case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Oh. Command. Oh right, I need to set this to Brain Wipe. Brain Wipe is like such a useless ability. I might need to use it in the tutorial, but normally I never use it. Feeding on humans fills your blood pool. To feed, approach your victim and press the feed key. Default F, just G for me because I rebounded. Well, you are close. It is important that humans do not see you feed on other humans. Click. Once you have begun feeding on your victim, you will see this bar appear. This represents your victim's blood pool. You should stop feeding before emptying his blood pool and killing him. Press feed again to stop feeding. So you still need to get Temple of Elemental Evil game, good old games. You played it years ago. Yeah, Temple of Elemental Evil is still really, really unstable, even with the unofficial patches. Like, it's crazy unstable. But it's much better than the base game. So, yeah, I think I have all three. I have 2 of them on Good Old Games. This one I have from Steam. Yay! Our mana is back to full.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood.
I'm a born-again Redditor. Yeah, we did it, Reddit.
That's it, kid. That's what it's all about right there.
Alright, so... I don't know how I feel about it, but it feels good. No, I'm gonna pick... Great, when do I get my cape? Do I get to pick the color?
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass, feeling better than your best day living, but wait, it gets better. All kindred, that's our word for vampire. All kindred have a few things in common. Things that set them right square above humans on the food chain.
Yeah, like what?
Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating, and if you play your cards, eternal life. It's no sure bet, but
Scratchy throat, I just drank some blood.
It's not a bad deal. And that's just for starters. Fringe benefits for joining the club.
So I'm gonna live forever?
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A steak? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe.
He bathes occasionally.
Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire? That's real trouble. Sunlight? Well, you catch a sunrise and it's all over, kiddo. Get it?
Got it.
Okay, now. The fuck is this?
Dot, dot, dot.
Look, you get inside here and head upstairs. Meet up. Just see what the ruckus is.
I'm just picturing Smiling Jack as, you know, what's that guy's name? The guy who died last year? The one who sang "We Are Number One" and "You Are a Pirate." Alright, at the bottom of your screen is a use icon. If you played Half-Life, you know what use is. So, yeah, click or press. Now we have to jump here. Okay, jump. 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 And jump. It's a lockpick. So, if you play through the tutorial, you get a free lockpick and 2 free XP. Which is way better. I mean, it's a lot more time consuming if you're doing a speed run, but you know, it's a lot more, I guess, resource efficient. So, your feats are the combinations of your various abilities and attributes. The higher your feat scores, the better you are at the activities they influence. Inspection is a feat. It is the combination of perception and investigation. It allows you to see hidden and secret things. For example, the lockpick on the crate in front of you. You can find your feats listed on the right-hand side of your character sheet. Left-click to continue. You can pick up certain objects in the world. If you are able to pick up an object, you will see a use icon appear for it when you are close enough, and the crosshairs in the center of your screen are over it. Press the use key to pick up the lockpick. That would be R for me. Item gained, lockpick. Yeah! A tool of the trade for locksmiths and burglars. A lockpick is used to push the pins inside a lock into their correct position until the lock is open. It takes a lot of expertise to use these well. Oh yeah, free gun too. Well, I don't need it though. Like, the guns suck in this game. I really, really hate that. They basically, well, they kind of nerfed guns because they didn't want.
Down here. Stay away from the window.
Justin Achille thought that, you know, vampires should be using swords because it looks cooler.
Christ, I was hoping to spare you this shit till later. Sabat. Well, they're mostly mindless, bloodthirsty assholes. That's all you need to know for now, alright?
So what's up?
The Sabat got wind of the gathering here, so they figured they'd raise a little hell and put a little heat on the new prince.
What's the prince a prince of?
No time for political rundown. Job 1, get out of here alive. Sabat might be mindless, but they hit like a Mack truck, like raging savages. Nothing a fledgling like you wants to mess with.
Oh yeah, late game guns are very important. Like, once you reach Hollywood, if you don't have a good firearm score, you are basically fucked. Like, a lot of the enemies are really, really deadly at melee range, but they're, you know, very weak at range. So you have to have guns to get through, like the infamous sewer level. That area is really, really freaking obnoxious. It's like the Black Mountain Clan level in Arcanum. Which basically, if you can't get through that level, you can't get through the rest of the game. The Black Mountain Clan is like the hardest level in the game at that point in the game. So once you clear that obstacle, yeah, you're free to make it through the rest of the game. Although, the funny thing is in Vampire the Requiem 2nd Edition, what they did was make vampires a lot tougher. So vampires now take bashing damage from everything except fire and sunlight, which means ironically that guns are actually as good as swords against vampires now when it comes to dealing damage, which if you read between the lines means they are a lot better because you can attack from range and there are a lot of like feats you can take to improve your firearms. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Shortcut in the sewers? Oh right, yeah, I remember that. I normally don't level up my hacking, so I don't have to take the short. I can't ever take the shortcut. But it's like obnoxious as hell. So what am I supposed to do?
Heads up.
Cutscene time.
Back away.
We get to see the gangrel kill everyone to death. Oh, he's using hacks. He's using two wolves at the same time. Oh, hey there. Well, to be specific, he's from an African bloodline of Gangrel. I can't remember which clan he actually is. Thank you, Nagloper. I'm just simplifying because number one, I forgot the actual clan name, bloodline name. All right, so I'm on it. So access your request log L. So a vicious vampire faction known as Sabat has launched an assault on the secret Camarilla gathering downtown. You and Jack are caught in the middle. To escape, you must obtain entry to the office. Yeah, sure, that's easy. So I don't know if you've kept up with Vampire Bloodlines news, but for Vampire Bloodlines 2, apparently our player character is a Thin Blood mass embrace victim. And you get to pick a Thin Blood discipline, and then you get adopted into one of the main clans.
Shortcut. Well, nicely done, though.
It's
Not
closer to
exactly an
Smithy.
angel in life, were you?
I had my moments.
Cool. Now, if you want a lesson on how really not to act, take notes from those Sabat assholes. You're a big bad vampire. Yeah, great, congrats. Now keep it to yourself. You go roar and you beat your chest, and that's what you can expect.
Wait, I've still got that list of people from high school. Why not?
It's the same reason you don't let humans see you feeding. It's why the wolf doesn't want the sheep to know he's there. It's also why you don't go juggling dumpsters or outrun the 815 from Sacramento, and it's why you didn't know any of this when you woke up this morning.
So this is the main thing about the Masquerade. It allows the game to take place in a mirror of real life, and basically, real life can be copied into the game setting because people behave as if vampires don't exist because they don't know vampires exist for the most part. That's the main thing between this and other settings which don't have a Masquerade. Like, it kind of stretches suspension of disbelief sometimes in settings without a Masquerade. I get it.
Keep our secret, and you make things easier on all of us. We're living in the age of cell phone cameras. Fuck-ups ain't tolerated. Makes sense enough, right? Well, it ain't a casual thing for a fledgling like you.
Oh, so basically they're kind of like, so they have vicissitude? Are they like descended from Simitsi itself, or did they just get infected by vicissitude? What do you mean? What could happen?
That party back there with the guy in the suit and the Magilla Gorilla? The assholes that put your sire to death? That's the Camarilla. They make a tidy business out of enforcing vampire laws like this one.
I see.
Alright, now don't worry, because I know the area a little, and you know what? I'm glad we're in this situation, you and I. It illustrates a point. You gotta utilize your surroundings.
Okay, but what does that mean exactly?
You do what you gotta do. Theft, destruction of property, breaking and entering. These will be the least of your sins before the night's out. So look around here. We gotta get out the back there through that magnetically sealed door. There must be a key someplace.
I'll find it. So the weird thing about this, what I've read about Vampire Bloodlines 2 is that you start out as Thin Blood and then you get adopted into a full clan, which is not how it works in the PNP game unless you Diablerize someone. I guess, are they going to make us Diablerize someone of the full clan? But it is how it is how the equivalent of Thin Bloods work in Vampire the Requiem. Like, what are they called? I can't remember. But basically, sometimes a vampire's embrace doesn't work well, and you end up with a vampire who doesn't have the weakness of its parent clan, but which sweats out all of the blood it's consumed after it wakes up at night, which means it always wakes up in a blood-crazed frenzy. Now, the only way to fix this is to, destroy the vampire or to adopt it into a main clan. Like, let's say a Ventrue finds this poor soul and adopts it into the clan. Like, through some mystical, magical, vampiric BS, the the revenant, or whatever the term is called, that poor thin blood thing is adopted to the clan, and then basically gets the Ventrue weakness, or the Deva weakness, or the Nosferatu weakness. So I guess they're combining some aspects of Requiem and Masquerade in this, which I think is pretty cool. There's also like a weird bloodline they can enter called the Neglatu, which allows them to bypass some of their weaknesses without taking on a clan weakness. So yeah, they're basically the Keter of Vampire the Requiem, except their drawback really, really sucks. Okay, it is intended to be a Tzimisce bloodline. Okay. So, I mean, don't Tzimisce have access to animalism anyway? Goodness, it's been so long since I played the PvP game. Anyway, area indicator. Combat, Masquerade, Elysium. So basically, anything goes. Be a good boy. Be an extra good boy. Okay, in Masquerade areas, breaking the Masquerade can carry dire consequences, such as the unwanted attention of vampire hunters. So, it kind of works like, I'm just explaining for other viewers, it kind of works like the crime thing in Grand Theft Auto games, where you get increasingly powerful vampire hunters in place of cops looking for you. Alright, so when you can read a note, you will see this use icon. Readable notes can be various items like clipboards, newspapers, and letters. To read the note, press the U. Yeah, I already did that. Click. The password is Chop Shop. We did it. We're a super hacker. Click, click. Okay. I don't have hacking, so I'll have to use the password. Chop Shop. We did it. I'm a super hacker. Safe doors unlocked. Get out of here. Alright, yeah, I already know that. Click, click. There's the key. Click.
There we go. Now take that key card and head out the back. I'll meet
So
you
you
out
do have
there.
animalism.
I'm gonna check out things from topside.
Got it. Inventory. To access my inventory, click on the left and right arrow buttons. I already know this. There's the key ring with the Chop Shop key. I don't have any weapons. I don't have any guns, armor. Alright, let's do this. I think this is the area. There we go! Another cutscene. I get shot at and I can't move, while Jack sneaks up behind them and kills them to death. You've been wounded by the Sabbat. This blue bar represents your current level of health. As you sustain regular damage, it will turn black. If your health is completely depleted, you suffer final death and your game is over. Your health regenerates over time. When you are feeding, your health regenerates much faster. If your health bar begins to turn yellow, it means you have sustained aggravated damage. Certain hazards, like fire and supernatural attacks, cause aggravated damage. This takes much longer to heal than regular damage. Also sunlight, but it's never sunny in Vampire Bloodlines. Oh, here's a funny... I don't know if you've ever played Vampire the Requiem, but in 2nd edition Vampire the Requiem, the equivalent of 3rd generation vampires can actually walk in the sun. They're daywalkers. Like, if your humanity is 7 or higher, and your blood potency, that's basically the generation mechanic, is 1, I think you only take damage once every few minutes. And if you cover up your whole body, like you have full body covering, you only take damage... No. I think if your blood potency is 0, you take no damage. If your blood potency 1, I think you take damage once per hour. And it's only lethal damage. So you can actually walk out in the sunlight at lower blood potency. Of course, in Requiem, every 50 years your blood potency goes up by 1. And the higher your blood potency, the stronger you get, but the more restricted your feeding is. A lot of hacking is because are stupid. Yes, let's put my... Dude, you have no idea. That's really realistic. You have no idea how many people do that.
Fucking waste of unlife, these Sabbat vatos. You get winged? Hey, look at them potholes. Those will close up soon enough. Better feed, though. There's someone down the stairs here. It's not the freshest catch, but he'll do.
What's the difference? Blood's blood, right?
Well, when it comes to feeding, it's quality blood you're looking for, not the quantity. Bums and lowlife don't pack the same punch that a healthy, well-bred human will. Juice bags with a pedigree. That's the good stuff. But you gotta take what you can get. You ever had a PhD, kid? Ooh, that's good stuff.
If you say so.
Remember what I said, though. Don't kill them. At least not the innocent ones. You're a monster now. Make no mistake. One of the damned and the fallen. You need to hold on to every last shred of humanity you have.
Let's say I get a little overzealous. What happens then?
An innocent's an innocent. You kill one, even a worthless bum, even by accident, and it's gonna cost you a piece of your own humanity. Bring you closer to that beast you got welling up inside you.
The beast? What exactly does that mean?
The beast? It's always there, waiting to take over. When it does, it's like a wild animal wearing your skin. Desperate, scared, reckless. He'll do anything to survive, and it's you that has to deal with the consequences.
So I can't kill anyone? That seems a little restricting.
I said innocent humans. If some asshole levels a 12 gauge your way, you drain him, skin him, and bash in his skull. Self-preservation is a vital part of humanity, after all. My favorite part, in fact.
I think I follow.
The only way to fight the beast is to keep in touch with your humanity, and don't go hungry. It's a fine line.
Got it.
All right, now go feed. Careful, though. He's gonna drain fast.
Be back in a minute. Remember, you want to avoid draining your victims, draining innocent humans, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know. As a Ventrue, you have a more refined taste in blood. Ventrue gain no... You know what? I actually healed up from my innate regeneration anyway, so I'm just gonna talk back to him. Go back to him.
Go on.
Oh, I had to actually feed on him. That sucks. Am I gonna vomit? Nope, I didn't. We're fine.
Not quite as good, huh? You could do worse. There's some rats down the way. You think I'm kidding? You can survive feeding on animals if you can stomach that kind of thing. Ugh.
The blood of that bum was bad. I won't feed a rat.
Just couldn't bear it, huh? It's okay. Polite kindred society. Look
Well,
down
there's a thing about that. I guess you do get some instincts from the beast, so you probably instinctively know that you can't feed on rats, even though you don't know it. Like you just blurt it out, like, "Huh, why did I say that?" Ah, I see. I can see why I'm not down with rodent myself.
Keep it down. Got someone around the way here.
Just one guy?
Not too much of a threat by himself, but you never know if there's more in shouting range. You're gonna have to sneak past.
Sneak where?
Building across from us with the garage door. There's some double doors on the far side. I'll meet you inside. Just stay low and stick to the shadows, and don't let him see you.
I'll do my best. See you in a minute.
All right, go.
On. Sneaking, a combination of dexterity and stealth, is a feat that allows you to move among your victims and enemies without being detected. You must be crouched to sneak. You can crouch by pressing the crouch key, which is shift for me. The meter to the left indicates the proximity of your enemies and their chances of detecting you if they are looking your way. Green means you're completely safe, yellow means you might be seen, and red means they will see you if they look in your direction. An enemy's chance of detecting you is directly tied to your sneaking feat. If you are detected, your enemies will often say as much and come to investigate. Alright. If I remember this correctly, I have to go here, stop for a moment. Where is he? There he is. I think I have to go here. Yep. Oh, I got detected. Alright, try again. Wonder if I go here. Oh right, I have to wait for that explosion where he like gets out of the way. Where is he? I can't see him. Okay, there he is. I guess I had to wait for him to leave. There we go. Sneaky, sneaky. There he is. He went back to his position. There we go. We did it, Reddit. We did it. And Jack just teleports
Quiet,
here.
they're inside here. Seems that shovelhead outside just got separated from his pack. He's wounded too. Go take care of him. Don't worry, he's probably greener than you.
What makes you think that?
The Sabbat, you see, they don't have the most rigorous training program. In fact, that poor sod is lucky if he knows he's a vampire.
So, I'm gonna take it you're familiar with the Mass Embrace. That tactic has been nerfed a lot in Vampire the Requiem, because embracing a vampire in Vampire the Requiem costs you an automatic humanity point. Which means, like, if you do a Mass Embrace, you're just gonna turn into a ravening monster anyway after that. But I guess, if you're suicidal, I guess you can do that. How can that be?
He's probably just turned and beaten over the head. They like to do that. Big shock troops, cannon fodder. Put him out of his misery.
Put him out of his misery. Yes, I am in misery. I'll do my best.
He is a vampire, so be ready.
I was born ready.
Go get him.
I'm on it. Okay. So I'll probably have to blood buff. What is my... You know what? I'll just cheat and use my disciplines. Fuck it. Where are you? Oh, he's dead. That was easy.
That's that. Sounds like you got another pack moving in, though. The Sabbat are going all out. You better head underground. Avoid straight bullets.
Sounds like a good strategy.
Go get the tire iron that shovelhead dropped. He ain't gonna need
Oh,
it.
I forgot to pick it up. I forgot to loot the thing. Right, where are you? There it is. Oops. Accidentally skipped through. This icon indicates the weapon you currently have equipped. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, I have melee 1, so... I think my brawl is higher than my melee, so...
Alright, head down into the basement through the grate in there. Keep that tire iron handy. I'll be there in a minute.
See ya. That's great. Oh, there we go. Yoink.
Stop!
Combat is not the only solution for sticky situations. You can also use your feats and disciplines in dialogue. That is obviously an added voice acting thing. I don't think that was part of the main thing. Or maybe it's just an unused voice line. Alright, let's do this.
You! Just stay back. Keep your distance.
Let's talk to this dude.
Now, who the hell are you? You involved in all this? Because I'm gonna radio this in, and SWAT will be all over this place.
You will show me the way out.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
Yeah,
This way.
I actually really like the
will be
mechanics
the
of
warehouse.
Requiem. Like, there's even a crossover called Masquerade, which uses Vampire the Masquerade lore with Vampire the Requiem rules. I don't know if you ever played Pencil and Paper Vampire the Masquerade, but it is a fucking train wreck. And I mean that it's really, really, really bad. The reason why vampire players tend to be more prone to role-playing out encounters compared to D&D is because the mechanics are horrifically bad. Like, I remember to make one attack roll, you roll to attack, your opponent rolls to dodge. You roll for damage, your opponent rolls to soak. That's 4 dice rolls per attack. And once you factor in celerity and splitting dice pools, it gets absolutely ridiculous. With Requiem, it's more D&D-like. Like, you make an attack roll, you roll a number of dice equal to your attack dice minus your opponent's defense. And then if you roll at least one success, that's it, you hit. So it's a lot simpler, there's a lot less dice rolling. And the system itself is way, way more modular. Like, they unified all the systems. Vampire the Requiem, Werewolf, the Forsaken, Mage, the Awakening, Hunter the Vigil, everything. They all use the same resolution mechanics, so you can do crossover settings a lot easier. And every splat has its own humanity meter, which means like we had that ridiculous situation where werewolves and mages could just freely murder people and not have to worry about turning into monsters. You don't have that anymore in in the new World of Darkness. Like even mages have to like adhere to wisdom. Like if they commit like random, sadistic acts, they lose wisdom. Werewolves, I think, lose harmony. Sin Eaters lose synergy. I think Prometheans still use humanity, and fairies use clarity, and mortals and hunters use integrity in second ed and morality in first ed. Ah, thank you. That answers my question. He did have someone voice act. Better stay here. It's too dangerous for you. All right. So when you are in a position to perform a stealth kill, you just use the person. Yep. Ninja.
Not sure what's going on. Sounds like the Sabbat's getting scattered. I'm gonna keep an ear to the ground. Be careful going forward here. Could be a whole mess of them holed up.
Great, just my luck. Alright, so blood buff. Yeah, I have to probably blood buff. I don't have security, so what does I have in blood buff? 7. There we go. Now, I have Dominate, Fortitude, and Presence, translating to Vampire the Reckoner to be Dominate, Resilience, and Majesty. Although in Requiem, Ventrue lost Majesty, Presence. Instead, they have Animalism. It's Animalism, Dominate, and Resilience. V5? Maybe. I haven't read Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, but I think they borrowed a lot of mechanics from Requiem and the New World of Darkness. Like, I don't know why they don't just merge them, like just use it, use Masquerade as the setting, as an alternate setting for Requiem, because the rules are much, much better. Like, when I played Vampire the Requiem, it was so much easier, and it's so easy to just use the old lore anyway. Blood potency is basically just generation in reverse. Like Blood potency 1 is 13th generation, Blood potency 2 is like 12th gen, and so on. And Blood potency 10 is like 3rd generation, But yeah, that was the main thing about Vampire back in the old days when I used to play pencil and paper. Like, a simple fight where we get ambushed by some dudes wearing, just mortals, they're not even vampires, mortals wearing body armor, took an entire gaming session to resolve. It was painful. Anyway, Fortitude is a passive discipline. I am supposed to use Fortitude? Yeah, let's do that. Got him. Oh, there's Jack.
I think they're clearing out. There's no need to go stirring up the hornet's nest till we know the score, though. Head through here. Come to an elevator around the way.
I'll meet you over there.
Meet you there. Don't let them catch you.
If I'm not there in 10 minutes, call the president. So I'm actually unique among my friends in that I actually vastly prefer the Requiem lore over the Masquerade lore. Like, I really like how clan is not as important as Covenant in Requiem. Like, in Vampire the Masquerade, it's basically the 13 clans plus Bloodlines divided into the Sabbat, the Camarilla, the Anarchs, and the Independents. And it's like, clan is so much more important than the Covenant you're in. Whereas in Requiem, like there's like multiple links between clan and covenants. Like obviously clan is where you come from, but covenant is the organization you join. And there are some rivalries. Like some people are friendlier with their clan, some people are friendlier with their covenant, which kind of mimics real life. Like some people love their families, I don't. Some people love their friends, I do. I think what they did was the Gehenna didn't exist. That's what I've been told by my friends who love Masquerade. I have a in real life friend named Justin who I tell him I ask him when we talk about RPGs. So which one is the better vampire and why is it Requiem? So basically we're mutually heretical to each other. He likes it. I love how in some cases when they blow up a vampire haven, they pass it off as terrorism because usually blowing up a vampire's haven involves burning down the building or blowing up the building to expose them to sunlight, which is not something that was a really big thing back during the time of Judgment era. Use presence to frighten and kill him. Alright, I will dazzle him like a pillarman. He's dead. Oh, wrong button. I tried to eat the door. What was that? Dominate is the vampiric power to bend others to your will. Dominate is a targeted discipline. It's not a masquerade violation, so... Oh, brainwipe. Ah! It detected that I have 2 points in Dominate. Alright, so I'm gonna sneak past them. Sneaky beaky. Oh, what the fuck? Do I have to kill them? I guess I'm gonna kill them. There we go. What does brainwipe do again? Oh, they think I've disappeared. So it seems to be like a 15-second daze, or it's not paralyzed. It just makes them ignore me for 15 seconds, so I can solo them. And this is the part where I pick up this can of fish or whatever, pick it up, and throw it. Distract them. And now we're here.
Fucking humans. Gangbangers protecting their turf. Oh, man. I'm here.
Okay, I'll be right back. I need to pick up some. I need to actually turn off my oven before it burns. Alrighty, I'm back. I've been baking a sweet potato for about an hour now. And that's probably what I'm going to be eating after I eat these gangbangers. So what do?
They probably see
We eat the
Here,
gangbangers.
take this 38. Fucking pea shooter, but a few shots in it'll take down a human.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna want it back, so don't go die and lose it. I don't use guns much. They're noisy, they're clumsy, practically useless against vampires, but still, a kindred's gotta keep up with the times. And in modern-day Los Angeles, that means coming strapped.
Useless against vampires?
Well, yeah, some are more lethal than others, of course. Watch out for those shotguns. Ouch, those things can smart, I tell you.
I hear you.
Head up and clear out what's left of them. Can't have them running their mouths about any of this. I'm gonna make sure there's no stragglers around outside.
Okay. So I think I'm required to shoot this thing. I hit it! We did it, Reddit! We did it! It's like ammunition rounds. Ding! Oh wait, ground floor. So apparently the V5 timeline is apparently this in V5. So is it so did Gehenna happen, or did it get retconned? Because I heard it was retconned. Fortitude, presence, you know what? Fuck it.
No, you stop
Guns are so bad. You know what? I'm just gonna eat you. Nom 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 nom. holster. Wait, no. H is holster. I know, like, Wesp added the detection for brandishing weapons in this game, so I have to remember to holster, or just switch to fists, because they don't count as having weapons out.
That's it, kiddo. Just like that, and it's all over. Everyone slinks back to their corners of the city for the night.
That's it? It's all over?
Until the next night, when the Camarilla finds some way to strike back. Parry, dodge, spin and all that, and so on, and so on, and so on.
So this is normal?
Well, to be honest, you came at an interesting time, let's say. The Camarilla, the Sabbat. Now, in LA, these are the new kids on the block. There's already plenty of kindred had stakes down in California long before them. Now, we got every ancient kindred rivalry playing out all over the city. A lot of tension out there. A lot of fear. A lot of jittery, high-strung predators clinging to their little pieces of eternity.
Honk, honk.
Boy. Oh, I think they're looking for you outside. Guess you got a cab to catch. Was hoping to fill you in on a little bit more, but hell, you'll figure it all out.
Hey, Kane is waiting for me outside. I will, but I would like to keep the gun.
If you make it back, stop in at the last round. It's this bar downtown here. I'll fill you in on the politics.
I mean, did your code not go
That's
through?
the stuff that'll kill you.
I don't know.
Good luck.
I think it depends on, like, a lot of... I notice a lot of the dialogue options depends on your clan, your humanity, and your skills. Like, I tend to have really, really high humanity, but I guess that doesn't matter in the tutorial. You're always at 7 humanity in the tutorial. Unless, I guess, you eat a lot of... you eat those innocents, I suppose. I'll get you there after I get a good day's sleep. You have received 2 XP. Yeah! Click to continue. My haven. Prince LaCour has arranged for me to use a Camarilla safe house in Santa Monica. Boom! Loading is over. Alright, so I'm gonna edit here because I actually have to go to work at noon today, and it's currently 10:04 a.m. Central. So I'm gonna save the game. Delete. The Adventures of Toothy McBloodsucker. I guess let's say 01. Okay. And so that's it. I don't know if you... research done by Beckett and his allies seems to suggest that Gehenna-like events are cyclical and have appeared throughout history. The culmination of events in the 2000s, including the Red Star, the Week of Nightmares, the Rise of Thin Bloods, the Withering... Withering? Is it at the Winnowing? Okay, let's see. Menu, okay. Withering and the Beckoning has led some of the kindred to believe that Gehenna has begun, but not as the apocalyptic event which would smother civilization they had imagined. Instead, elders are drawn to the east and vanish. The Sabbat believes that they fight in the Gehenna War against the ancients, and has led a mass exodus to the Middle East and the East European plain to aid them to slay the antediluvians. So, cyclical nature. I guess they're borrowing some of the lore from I guess, Vampire the Requiem. Like, in Vampire the Requiem, vampiric society is cyclical. Because once you reach blood potency 6, which is like 7th generation in Vampire the Masquerade terms, you can no longer feed on humans. You can now only feed on supernaturals, including other vampires. And if you know what happens when you drink a vampire's blood, well, it kind of sucks. Imagine an elder bloodbound to a neonate. So basically what they do is they have to go into torpor. Every 25 years they spend asleep lowers their blood potency by 1. Which means they have to intentionally weaken themselves so they don't get enslaved by neonates. Which is kind of hilarious. So, what happens is that after they wake up from torpor, they're pretty much, in a day's haze, and they kind of forget a lot of the things about their past, but they're ready to, tackle the world once more. So in that way, vampiric society in Requiem is cyclical. Like the neonates of today will be the elders of tomorrow, and the elders of yesterday will be pretty much reduced to neonates of today once they wake up from their slumber. So I guess there's a lot of like, you know, cross pollination between the two things, because like a lot of people don't like the lore in Requiem, but I think I actually prefer it, but I do like the mechanics better. I also like the lore in Masquerade. Don't get me wrong. But the mechanics in Masquerade are so freaking bad. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna do the stereotypical YouTuber versus Twitcher thing. Hit that like button and subscribe button, or no, I don't have a subscribe button, just a follow button because I'm not an affiliate. Yes. Oh, the thing they added is that once you wake up from your torpor, basically your mind is refreshed and you become as open-minded as the day you were embraced. So it is actually common for elders to, you know, like, oh, it's a computer. Oh, okay. I know how to meme now. So it's pretty weird. And they also forget a lot of their past. So, you know, they're now in the, I guess, in the present. So it's pretty cool. Like that new neonate you just met probably is like 3,000 years old. They just kept sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up. Or they could be enslaved to a neonate if they really want to stay awake, which kind of sucks. So anyway, I guess that's it for today. I'll see you folks some other time. I normally stream in the morning, so I'll be back tomorrow, Sunday. Same vampire time, same vampire channel. And thank you for joining me. Goodbye.